Greetings once again, my friends. Welcome to another installment of Mama May Plays Minecraft. I'm Mama May, and I hope you are doing well. I'm so glad that you are able to join me, and I'm very excited to share this new session with you. So, welcome to episode 7 in our video series. Now, this is actually going to be a one part of two. I'm actually going to start building a favorite house of mine and abandon this starter house. Okay. And what we're going to do in this session, which is the part one, is we are going to go ahead and do some materials gathering and preparations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move back off into the jungle over there, which is actually my spawn point. And if you'll follow me, come along with me here. I will show you that I've done a little preliminary work. All I've done is just cleared a 28 by 40 spot for the house to go into. And what I've done is I've planted a preliminary birch farm so that we can get some birch to make some birch uh, slabs with for the flooring. And while I was gone, I've also went ahead and collected several pieces of concrete and sand so that I can go ahead and create some concrete. So we're going to create some concrete powder and then add some water and make some concrete, and that is going to create the walls of our home. So I apologize for not being around recently. I have been so sick with I don't know if it was a flu or just a cold, but I caught it for 2 weeks. And what happened was I ended up with a really bad residual cough. So, of course, I wasn't feeling up to recording. But I'm going to tell you, I felt so bad. I haven't actually even played Minecraft in 3 or 4 weeks. Um, Usually, when I'm sick and if I do get the opportunity to stay at home, I do tend to get online and play a little bit of Minecraft just to make myself feel better, but I felt so bad I couldn't even do that. So here we are finally back online, and I haven't done much at all, so don't feel like I've done all this stuff offline. I haven't done anything. The only thing about the sand and concrete is that I didn't want to deplete my resources right nearby because I like to keep Minecraft Mother Nature untainted. I like to keep my landscaping as close to spawn or original as possible. So I built myself a boat and I headed down the river a little ways, pretty much until the river dead ended in a shallow pond. Luckily, that was filled with sand on the bottom of the floor and gravel. So I was able to collect my sources there. We are going to need quite a bit of material. So hopefully you will be able to see how much material we're going to collect, and then we're going to go ahead. The rest of it I think I can make on the fly. But I just needed to make sure that I didn't have to stop what I was doing to go hunting for materials. Once we get started, I kind of like to build everything in place. And actually, to be honest with you, one thing that I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and substitute for my outer doors um, birch doors. But ultimately, when this house is final, I am going to want to use dark oak. It looks very Oriental, Asian, Chinese, whatever. And it looks like mahogany. And I just love the way that looks. So I don't know if you've caught on to what I'm doing, But I've got my saplings in my left hand or my offhand. And so what's really handy is I don't have to stop what I'm doing to switch. Even the scroll wheel can sometimes be distracting, especially if you overshoot. And so I am just going to go ahead and cut down my tree. And at the same time, I'm going to right click my bare spot and plant a new one. So I actually didn't need to replant my tree farm because I believe I'm going to need 6 stacks of birch plank slabs, and I'm going to need about a few, I think 16 or 18 birchwood stairs. So if you consider um, that a slab is half of, or you make 2 to 1 slabs from planks, and you get 4 stacks of planks from 1 stack of logs. Looking at my hotbar right now, I think I'm going to be set. So I'm going to go ahead and stop replanting now. I'm going to go ahead and continue to cut down any that might be growing, but I'm going to go ahead and deforest my birch tree farm here so that I can start the next phase of our work, and that is going to be the concrete making. So that's going to be so much fun, you guys. So let's see what else has been going on. I hope I'm not spilling beans here, but I did get notification from my work that if I want to move back home to Washington, D.C., I am approved to do so. I won't be changing jobs. I'll just be working from the D.C. office as opposed to the Albuquerque office. And I can move anytime I want. So now I'm just waiting for my husband to get a job in DC or the DC metro area. And this approval has been wonderful because what that means is that we don't have to try to coordinate job searching and moving, that we can just concentrate on his job search. And once he gets a job, we can move together. So now, in order to put my stack of saplings away, I am going to have to get rid of them from my left-hand inventory there. Then I can go ahead and put them away. So you see I've already picked some birch there. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down. And hopefully that will make plenty of slabs. So concrete, where did I put the concrete? Yes, I'm going to need 6 stacks of white and 6 stacks of red. So before I get all excited on making some um, red, I need to get some flowers. So here's my bone meal, and there is some flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and just get a bunch. Okay. All right. And make my dye. Oops, I keep going to the wrong one. So I have a collection of stone here so that I can make some stone bricks, stone brick slabs, stone brick stairs, and stone brick blocks for my roofing material. Okay, So let's get all my sand, all my gravel, and my bone meal. I don't know how much I'm going to need, so I'm just taking it all. And then hop over here to my temporary work area. And now I have to do some calculations to make sure I don't use up the wrong amount. So let's start small. Let's start with a little bit of, okay, so let's see how much this makes. Okay, 2 stacks. So one of each makes 2. So let's do 1, 2. Okay, so that's 4. And one more. And I think I said I need 5 stacks of red. So I might as well just make 6 stacks of red. So let's get all of our stuff in place here. Okay. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stacks of white concrete powder. I think I'm going to need, I had 16 left over, so I think I'm going to need 2 more flowers to make 4 more dies, and that should be enough. Let's get rid of all of this white stuff. Okay, and come back over here. Hopefully I am doing this correctly. 1, okay, that made 2. 3. And 4. Okay, so I'm going to go put this and this away. Okay. So now, my friends, my next wonderful activity is going to be, whoops, let me go ahead and see if there's any straggling saplings left. I like to have saplings in case it's time to make more trees and I need some wood. So I'm going to go ahead and just save those for later. Okay. So let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to start laying out some concrete. Now, in order for concrete powder to become gorgeous concrete, it needs to be touched by water. And so what I usually like to do is go ahead and create this nice little path for the water to fall in. I'm doing a 8 by 8 cross, so the water will fall without dribbling. And once I get the first layer done, the rest of it is just putting more layers on top of each other. And I let the water flow, take the water up, and I just make this one big stack after another. Now the rest of it is going to be a little bit tricky as I get higher and higher. Right now I'm on the first level, so I can hop off and get back on the grass if I need to. But once I get up there, I'm going to need to make sure I don't fall off. Okay. So if you haven't played with concrete or concrete powder in the newest versions yet, you are going to love it. So look at this grainy, coarse, and if you've never played with this, let me show you. It acts just like sand. So if you break a bottom, it falls. It has gravity effects. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and drop some water in the middle, and I'm holding down my forward button so that I don't get pushed backwards. This is very important when I get to the top layers. So I want you to notice how beautiful and smooth that concrete looks. So I can't wait to build our house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the edges first so I don't fall off. Okay, and you have to do this layer by layer because if there's any concrete or anything else covering a concrete powder from touching water, then that concrete powder will not actually become concrete. So I like to do this layer by layer. Again, only on the second layer I'm good, but if I accidentally click on the side here, the concrete powder, like sand, will just fall all the way to the ground. And if I'm on a higher level, that won't bode well for me. And obviously we can just dig our way, mine our way back up in a staircase shape, but it doesn't look so great for my beautiful plan. So there's method to my madness. So hopefully this little activity will give you guys some insight if you've not played Minecraft before or you haven't in this latest old version. We're still waiting for 1.13 to come out. This is actually 1.12. But here we go. Look at this beautiful transformation. And actually I can take the water up as soon as it flows 2 blocks away. If I just put it down and pick it up, it only goes to those 4 blocks and stops. So I have to wait 1, 2, and it goes all the way out. So now I'm going to go ahead and swap colors again. And this is just so I know where the center is. This is where I have to be ultra careful and not slide off because now we are 2 blocks up. Not a dangerous fall, but just inconvenient for our purposes. Also, it's important not to get distracted by anything that's going on out there. So if I caught the stray parrot or ocelot wandering around, or squids swimming around, and accidentally look and click, I've had that little problem before. Not here in this environment, but just various mobs, passive ones, wandering around. And for anyone who's wondering that if I've been sitting here with loads of daylight, again, if you haven't joined me before, I like to play with cheats on, and I have built my own functions basically command line um, commands that can be grouped together into a function. And the one that I have active right now is one that I have simply named freeze. And what it does is it sets my time and locks it in, sets my weather and locks that in, turns my difficulty to peaceful. So I am basically working in a creative safety net version of survival. So I'm working in survival because you can see my hot bar down there with my health and hunger showing. But I'm in peaceful mode, so I shouldn't be troubled by any hunger. And most importantly, while I'm building, I shouldn't be troubled by any monsters trying to harm me, get under my skin, or take me out. And of course, the opposite functionality that I have written for that is simply called unfreeze. It simply allows time to move forward again, whether to do any weather things it wants to do, and sets my difficulty back to normal. And this allows me to do any monster hunting I need. I will tell you the monsters I need are spiders and skeletons. And we will be traveling to the Nether. I will be doing that in a future episode because, in addition to getting some blaze rods, I also need to get some quartz crystals. I need to build one comparator for a specific furnace, automatic furnace for inside this house, and I want it to look very pretty and not have any hidden uh, not have any visible hoppers and chests and such. So I'm going to show you, hopefully you guys will stick with me while I show you my very elegant sheeting method. I use shulker boxes. Guess what colors? Red and white. Instead of chests in my furnace system. And I'd have a dropper um, item elevator to move the items up. And it's only really moving it up one level, but in order to hide the redstone, it's got to be buried 3 levels down. So I need 3 droppers, and it's going to be moved up 3 levels. So are you guys seeing this beautiful, beautiful transformation? It is so gorgeous. Okay, so we'll just go around the world here. Like to put in my little parapets here. And it really doesn't matter. I'm getting a little high up in the air here. Now, one thing I think I may or may not have mentioned, but I suffer from a fear of heights, sometimes some delusional vertigo, where my fear of heights is counteracted by a sense of unrealness. And believe it or not, Minecraft triggers this for me. So I get very nervous around edges like this, even though it's just a game. So you might hear me exclaiming if I ever get too close to an edge. And if I do startle you, I apologize in advance because it is completely involuntary. So we are almost done. I think we may have one more partial layer to go. And for that partial layer, I am going to have to do something a little bit tricky. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and finish this layer up. Okay, and what I have to do is go around the edge first, all the way around, and make sure I have enough to block off the flow of water. Because I'm not going to have enough to get to the edge all the way, so water will spill off. And then of course that's going to reset the 8 block count. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of go around in a circle here. Okay. I may have enough. Let's see. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's see how this does, and if we need to, we'll run around and make sure every piece is touched with water. So let's see. That did not work at all. All right. So this is an interesting conundrum. What to do? All right. That's everything I needed to do. Now, just so I don't sweep myself out of here, I'm going to move that water out of the way and start my dig down. Uh-oh. One piece did not get touched. All right, that's enough. Okay. And that's what I mean. Okay, so we need to not fall off the edge here. And that one fell off, so we need to So what I'm working against the clock here is that we went to all the trouble to make those beautiful concrete blocks. And by the way, concrete blocks now act like every other block in Minecraft where it doesn't fall like sand. So one reason we definitely needed to have that. So how many layers do I have? One good thing about alternating colors like this, it makes it easy to count. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I'm going to start here, 1, 2, 3, and just work my way around. I like to have a ceiling so blocks don't get caught at the top there. So let's see. After I do this, I need to go make my birch materials. And then I need to make my stone materials. Okay. But aside from the concrete, if I run out of other materials, I can just go make them. concrete is a little bit more complicated. So you saw I had to make the concrete powder. Then I've got to layer the materials and make hard concrete. So it's a lot easier to get this done at the forefront. Hopefully I won't be stopping too much during the build session, to be um, replenishing my materials. But like I said, if I have to on the fly, hopefully we're talking about, oops, missed a ceiling, stair, or missed one slab, etc. So what I will do is put a link to my original video. I think it was my first Minecraft video, to my tour of a completed courtyard house. You can see where we're going. But if you have already seen that, or if you do go to that video, you're going to notice what I'm going to be creating is a modified, abbreviated version. What I am planning on building is only going to be 28 by 40. The original courtyard house is a lot more traditional, is a lot more faithful to the realistic Chinese courtyard dwelling, but it is way too big for a regular single person, I'm in single player mode here, um, survival dwelling. It's got way too many rooms. I have even dedicated some of those rooms to storage, which I will still do in my abbreviated version. And I am almost done collecting concrete. I'll go make me some birch items, and we'll just wrap up the episode. And my next episode, which I'll probably record tomorrow. It is late at night here as we speak, as I'm making the recording. Hopefully I will be able to post this episode, this session, right when I finish, which means you all will have to wait about a day for part 2, which again should be the block by block build. Okay. Okay, so I am just kind of falling into dead air silence here. I apologize for that. I am just concentrating on my mining and my picking here. I am using one of my specialty tools. This is my Silk Touch pickaxe. I swapped my Silk Touch with my Fortune because I decided that the Fortune, which is the one that you normally get, is iron. You normally get iron first. You create an iron pickaxe first. And when you create an iron pickaxe, oh, I missed one. If you guys saw what happened, I had to go and apply water to that one block that fell on me when I mined the block out from under it, because that was concrete powder, and powder falls. So one thing that is mesmerizing to me is how perfectly smooth. I don't know if you guys notice this. It is smoother than quartz. Even the quartz blocks has a little bit of texture to it. The concrete blocks do not. So if you are looking to build a house or a building, concrete is the way to go. And finally, with the advent of the concrete powder, there is finally something to do with all that nasty, nasty, useless gravel. I hope I didn't offend anyone that actually likes the gravel block. Gravel is handy when trying to destroy big pools of lava, but I found it's easier to just turn it all into obsidian and mine the obsidian, especially if you have unbreakable tools like I do. And I have picked up the handy dandy trick of placing a water source down in front of whatever lava area I'm about to mine so that I'm essentially standing in water. And then as you mine out the obsidian, if that obsidian is laying on top of more lava, it will always turn to obsidian before it burns you if you're in the water. You just have to be careful that you always mine the obsidian facing the water and not the obsidian on the other side of the remaining obsidian blocks from the water source. And you have to make sure that the water flow doesn't do one of those over the edge things you saw that happened on the top of our little concrete tower there, so that you are always protected from burning lava. When we start digging down, I will show you what I mean, unless I've already done it in my first videos. I don't remember if I did the obsidian mining on or off camera. Okay, we are just about done with the concrete mining. So that was my quick, not so quick, but systematic method of creating concrete powder, laying it out, turning it into concrete. And if you do decide that you want to create the 28 by 54 version, obviously you're going to need a little bit more concrete. I would recommend 2 to 3 stacks more of each color. So 2 or 3 stacks more of the white and 2 or 3 stacks more of the red. Okay, make sure I've got no hangers hanging up in the air. I'm going to go put this away, pull out my birch and do some birch processing. Let's see, do I have enough room to put this away? Whew, just enough. Okay, where did I put my birch? So I'm going to take 2, 3. I think I'll take that 14 just to have leftovers. I wish we could do a 1-to-1 or 1-to-2 match, but what happens is I'm going to put these up here. Okay, so that gives me my 6 stacks right there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do some stair making. Okay. Okay. There's a stack of stairs. That should be plenty. And some doors. I'm not sure if that's all I need, so let's go ahead and make a few more. Okay. Hmm. It never hurts to have more materials than we need. So let's just go ahead and grab some more doors. Okay. Oh, so I'm going to go ahead and put my birch items here. And finally, let's work on some, I don't remember how many items I'm going to need. So bear with me while I think about. Okay, so this is my screenshot of the necessary items. Oh, and I only needed 18 birch stairs. So I'm going to need 3 stacks, or 2¼ stacks, but of uh, stone brick stairs. Let's just overshoot. Let's just say 3 stacks. 1 stack of full-size blocks and 7 stacks of slabs. So hopefully I have enough materials here. So let's go ahead and figure out how much I'm actually going to need. Okay, and let's go ahead and let's start with this. We can come back. We're just right around the corner. Okay, so whoops, let's go ahead and use this. Might as well just stay in the crafting table. Okay. That's just brickifying everything. Okay. And so I just need 1 stack of bricks. 3 stacks of stairs. That's only 2 stacks. So let's take half. Okay. What just happened here? All right. And then 7 stacks. 7 stacks. Let's see how many we get with this. Okay. 3. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Counting with May. Well, you guys saw that I only needed 39 blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and call that good. So let's go ahead and return, and we will okay, guys, don't laugh at me. Don't get upset, but I am going to go ahead and give myself one more shulker box. And just to differentiate that from the rest, I'm going to make it white. So if you all are interested in giving yourself things to play with. Learning the commands is a really great way to start. Hopefully these commands will still carry over to the 1.13. I've already been in the snapshot and I found that some of these methods have definitely changed. So I'm going to go ahead and put another shulker box down, or up in my case. That display name that I gave it, if you notice when I open it, it will have the name displayed instead of just saying shulker box. So let's go ahead and get my stone items back, my stone brick items back, and I will go ahead and put them up here. Nope. And my concrete. Okay. And there's no room for my birch. So my birch is going to have to stay over there. Or I can actually just do a repeat. So I hit slash to get my command line and I hit my up arrow and that brings me my last command entered, and I'm just going to give myself another box. Nowhere to put it, so I'll just put it up there. Get my birch items. Okay. Put that back. Oh my, I still have a thing of birch wood here. Let me go and put that away. We might need it tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end today's session right here. Okay, so this is going to be the end of today's session. That's all for today's episode. I do appreciate you all joining me. This is part one of two. Hopefully you will join me for part two, which is the actual build of the house. I can't wait to get that started. If you enjoyed this session, please be sure to light up that thumbs up for me down there. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe and turn on notifications to be alerted when I post a next video, and that'll be video episode 8. So until next time, my friends, I'll see you soon.